only 4 minutes. Relax. Take a deep breath.
Will it help?
Yes.
Okay. You gave these 4 minutes? Well?
You did fine. Next time, let's work on breathing during. He has now gone on to receive 2 promotions from work in the last year and is giving IT demonstrations for his company. Toastmasters has done so much for so many people. Toastmasters is credited for promotions, raises, and in the case of Alan Schwartz, a bride. He proposed to Connie at a Toastmasters meeting. How often do you think about your icebreaker speech? Or about what your members are going through as they give their icebreaker speech? It's so important to teach people how to give an effective presentation so they do in fact speak to be remembered and repeated. Today you will learn 3 of the keys to delivering an effective presentation which people will remember and repeat in a positive way. How often do you hear voices in your head saying, I don't know what to talk about? Where do you find all your speech topics? Or, I text more than I speak. Give me a smartphone, not a microphone. You will find the more you practice speaking, the easier it becomes. The keys to getting a really effective presentation are: 1, have an effective structure. 2, have the memory tags to be able to help people remember your points. Touch the emotions and touch the learning styles. When you have an effective structure, you have the memory tags to help people remember your point, and you know how to touch their emotions and all of their learning styles, you will discover the techniques and tips to becoming an effective speaker. Speak to be remembered and repeated. If you develop your message to be concise and convincing, you will find a much higher degree of effectiveness. A really effective presentation is like a beautiful woman. She catches the eye. She awakens the awareness, and she captivates all senses. And just like that beautiful woman, she has a very effective structure. Patricia Frick, leading speaking coach of National Speakers Association, first female president of MSA, and a certified professional speaker, has developed a very simple speech structure. It works for any topic, any length, and any audience. Would it help you to have that structure? An opening. An opening with a bang. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. Then make a point, tell a story to back up your point. Make a second point, tell a story to back up that point. If you're going to do questions and answers, do them after your last main point and before your conclusion. Your conclusion, just like that beautiful woman, should encompass all of your main points and bring it all together in a nice, tidy bow. Let's go through the parts. An opening. And you may think back to some of the things you heard in the opening this morning. Open with a bang. You have 7 seconds to catch their attention. And they decide within those first 7 seconds whether or not they like you. Within the first 30 seconds, they decide whether or not they want to hear what you have to say. How often have you heard a speaker open with, "It's nice to be here. I'm glad you invited me. It's beautiful here at Whatchamacallit Resort, and I'm so glad to be here." Craig Ballantyne, the 1999 world champion, refers to those as the unpleasant pleasantries. Any speaker who opens with those comments has wasted their first 7 seconds. They may have already lost their audience before they ever have a chance to deliver any of their content. If you must use those, do them after your opening. Did you notice when I opened? I opened with a dialogue. Open with a bang. Do something to get their attention immediately. You can open with a statistic, a story, a quotation. You can open with a joke. You can open with a song, a rhetorical question. One of the best things to do is to open with a you-focused question. Did you notice I had said, do you remember your icebreaker speech? Open with a you-focused question. Let's go through some of those openings. In Nikki's opening this morning, she gave 2 different examples of dialogue, one being a little more specific and a little louder, but they were both dialogue. What I want you to know is the difference between dialogue and monologue. How many times have you heard a story done in monologue? For instance, "Elaine, that's a dumb idea. Give it up. You'll go broke." "Nat, I want to start a property management company specializing in single-family homes. No one is managing homes. They all manage condominiums." "Elaine, I'm a man. I'm older than you are. I have more years in business. It's a dumb idea. Give it up. You'll go broke." Or doing it in monologue. "When I wanted to start Mountain Castle, Matt was so discouraging. He kept telling me what a dumb idea it was, and how it just wouldn't work." Which one captivates your attention more? It's basically the same content. Bring your stories alive. Put them in dialogue. Opening with a story draws your audience in. Joel Osteen, pastor of Lakewood Church in Texas, which is the mega of Alpha churches, always opens with a self-deprecating joke. When I spoke to American Association of Women Accountants, I opened with a statistic. They're analyticals. They're numbers people. They like statistics. Key your opening to your message and your audience. I've opened with quotations, and there are innumerable sources of quotations. Brian Tracy, Napoleon Hill, Success Magazine, Jim Rohn are willing to deliver a quote to your inbox every day. And there are actually books of quotations. You should be analytical, probably categorize them. Quotations are a good way to open. I have opened different times with a song. Just a little snippet of my theme song. Don't tell me I can't, don't tell me I won't, and don't tell me I'm past my prime. Whatever it is that's going to match your message to your audience. But whatever you do, open with a bang. Doug is a member of my Toastmasters club, and he could stand up on 30 seconds notice and tell a story of any length. It's entertaining. Doesn't have a point. Doesn't have any structure, but it's entertaining. When you want to make a point, be very specific about your point. Number one is have an effective structure. Then back it up with a story that exemplifies exactly what you're talking about. Have you ever heard a speaker stand up and ramble? They're all over the subject matter. And when they finish, say, well, I don't really know what they said. Or I don't know what their point was. Have you ever given one of those speeches? I think as a rookie, probably every one of us did at one point in time. Make a point and back it with a story. Then see that your main point, each main point, is about 10 minutes. Why 10 minutes? That seems to be an adequate amount of time to thoroughly cover an individual point, but not so long that your audience loses interest in the subject. Craig Valentine, again, said if you cram too much information in, you squeeze your audience out. One of the questions I use on my presentation skills quiz, and I'll be happy to give you a copy of that if you would like, is what do you do when you give your presentation? Do you try to cram as much information into that little short period of time as you can? Or do you thoroughly explore each individual point? Lily, if you were giving a financial presentation, you want to make certain they understand each aspect as you go through. If you just touch it and go, they're not going to understand it. And what does a confused mind do? Nothing. If you squeeze too much information in to too short a period of time, they become overwhelmed or confused and they do nothing. Each main point should be about 10 minutes. Then make a second point and tell a second story to back it up. They may forget your point, but they remember your story. And because they remember your story, they remember your point. The easiest way for people to remember your points is to back them with a story. I suggest you keep a story file on your desktop. You don't have to write out every individual story, but give it a few key lines so that you remember that story and you can pull it out when it is appropriate to make your individual point. Keep a story file on your desktop. Just as I suggest you keep a quotation file. It helps you be able to emphasize your specific point. It helps you connect with the audience. When I first started network marketing, I was told by my sponsor, Lisa, to buy leads, which I later learned is an expensive way to get frustrated. Call 2 or 3 times until I got them on the phone. Ask a couple of questions, and then immediately start telling them all about the product, which I now know is called a data dump. How effective do you think that was? Lousy. Took me 8 months to make my first sale. And it was an Australian tour. I still didn't get any money for it. I had to pass up the first 2 sales. The point is I didn't connect with those individuals. Connecting